Hi everyone, my name is Mark Moikins from Big Mountain Studio, and today we are going to talk about the Opaque property. It's a UIView property, and we're going to talk about what it is, and especially what it doesn't do, because this is a kind of a confusing property that you see all the time, but you never actually interact with because nobody knows what it does. Well, I'm going to tell you what it does. First of all, Opaque is right here, and Opaque is set on a UI view. So right now, the background view here, the root view for this view controller has Opaque set to true. And all Opaque does is it's a hint to the rendering system, to the drawing system on a view to tell it you don't have to draw anything behind it. And what I mean by that, let me show you an example. We'll just put a couple of views on here. Whoops. UI view. And let's give it a different color so we can distinguish them better. We'll have some overlapping. And one more, covering both of them here. And this one we'll say is, I'll make it this blue, darker blue color here. Okay. So by default, the Opaque property is set to true. And what this is telling the system is when this is set to true, the drawing system, is it tells it not to draw anything behind it. So this will speed up the rendering of your UI view. Now, why does it have to know that it doesn't have to draw anything behind it? Because if I select this view here, whoops, wrong one. What's going on here? This view is inside of this other view. All right, hold on. Let's get this on the same level. I can't get it out. Okay, there we go. Okay. Wow, it keeps wanting to go into there. Okay, good. So now they're all on the same level. And if I change this alpha property, you can see these other two views behind it. So the drawing system needs to be able to draw these other objects behind it. And the Opaque property should be set to false in this case. So when it comes time to render your UI, it knows that this isn't opaque. Opaque just basically means solid. You can't see through it. So it knows it is not opaque and that it has to do some work behind it to draw these other parts. Now, again, this is a hint. This doesn't mean if I click opaque, it won't draw anything behind it. It'll actually figure out that, yes, it does have to draw something behind it, even though this property is set to true. So this property, this Opaque property, does not hide or show views. I can come here, I can uncheck Opaque, and it won't affect how it looks at all. All it is to help the drawing system, to help tell the drawing system that either to render things behind it because you can see through it, or to don't worry about drawing things behind it and it'll draw it faster because it will not even check if anything is behind it. So it's just a hint. It's just to help improve performance. And that really, my friends, is all it is. So just remember this rule. If your alpha is less than 1, uncheck Opaque. And if it is 1, make sure Opaque is checked and it'll improve your performance for drawing. And that is about it. So I hope you learned something about the Opaque property. I hope you learned that it does not affect how any of your views look. And well, there's one other thing that I want to also tell you too, real quick. Apple says that the Opaque property has no effect on system-provided classes such as UI button, UI label, UI table view cell, and so on. So even if you have a button on here, having Opaque selected or not won't affect how it has no effect on the rendering whatsoever, and it doesn't provide a hint to the drawing system. So that's just one thing to understand. You'll notice, Opaque is false for these controls, and usually it's only true if you put a UI view on your view. Okay, hope you have a better understanding of what the Opaque property is and what it does, what it doesn't do, and how to use it to better render or to increase the performance of your rendering on your UI. Thanks. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Thank you.